Hello friends and welcome to another replay analysis. It's been a while, but the patch is starting to settle a bit, so I think we can get back into these. Today we're looking at Mirana, position 4, legend 3, duo queuing. Yeah, you can't see the pictures. Duo queuing with the Slardar, legend 5. You said you frequently play together, you think the lane goes well, but then in the mid to late game you guys seem to... I mean, obviously you don't win every game, but it seems like a lot of the time you're not converting a one laning stage to a one game. So we're gonna take a look and see what we can see. Point out any glaring mistakes. This is a support channel. I am a support player, so it's gonna be a little easier to focus on you playing Mirana, but we'll try to mention stuff for Slardar as well. Now, right now, before we even get into it, let's think about. So you kind of need to think about the game plan already. After all, that is kind of what you're struggling with, the laning stage into converting to a one game. So let's take a look at this lineup here. We got an AM and a Storm. Storm can be a little bit more active, but he is still going to be a pretty decent farmer as well. And then AM is going to be a heavy farmer. AM usually needs like a Battle Fury, of course, and then Manta Basher before he starts being active. But in this game against a Phantom Assassin, he's going to need an MKB as well, and probably before the Basher, but you could get it after, I suppose. The point is, he's going to need an extra item before he can truly be active. So, it changes by bracket, but, let's say like 25 minutes is usually Manta Basher timing. So we're going to have to add, say, another 5-ish minutes for MKB to fit in there as well. So, Power Spike, it's going to be around 30 minutes for Anti-Mage to be ready to deal with the PA. But that's kind of okay because we have some other ways to deal with the PA in the meantime. Looking at them, they also have a lot of physical damage between the PA and the LC. Not too much magic damage. Not too worried about the Visage Familiars because it looks like... Actually, it's not super clear. Could be I would have guessed a Visage mid and like a Hoodwink 4. Turns out it's the other way around. But Hoodwink as a core also deals a solid amount of physical damage. So we're going to need a lot of armor this game. So that's some of your itemization. If we're thinking about what you want to build, I like a Medallion this game. Kind of synergizes with the Slardar and helps to protect like Anti-Mage and Storm when LC possibly duels them or PA goes on them. Or when like Hoodwink does some of her stuff. Storm will try to jump people. LC is going to be able to duel even if he uses counterspell. So we know we have to protect him from duel. I wouldn't say either side is guaranteed victory through the draft or not. But if you indeed are winning your laning stage, then we're worried about PA being able to out-man fight AM. So in a one-on-one carry fight, it'll come down a bit to some lucky RNG. But because she builds Battle Fury, she's not too worried about illusions, and she's not a hero that needs to cast spells either. Not to mention she'll probably have a BKB anyways. And that one-on-one matchup favors Phantom Assassin if they're roughly equal, I would say. So we need to build items that helps turn that in our favor. So giving him armor, crowd control to stun the PA, stuff like that. So that's why I say, like, I'm not sure either side necessarily wins, but it's kind of looking in your favor a bit. If you can truly win most of your lanes, then we should be able to convert that. I notice right now you're standing on your side, but something you might want to try, especially if you guys duo queue a lot, and you sent me your hero pool. For these two, you guys like to play like he plays like Mars and Slardar. You play I remember Mirana Phoenix. I can't remember the last one, but specifically with Mirana plus. It works with Mars, but especially with Slardar. So Slardar probably starting with Slithering Crush or Bash of the Deep, I suppose, is workable as well. But that is a stun. Either one of these leads to a stun. And you are probably going to start Sacred Arrow. That's another stun. 2 stuns, fantastic. Very likely to get a kill with that. Might as well bring a third hero just to secure it, though. Because these two, outside of their stuns, yeah, they have decent damage, but it's not the greatest. So why not ask the Veno to come up, and then he can TP bottom. Or whoever the position 5 is. or maybe even the mid laner if they need to block or not. But you can definitely consider asking someone to come to your lane, or maybe you guys even start bottom, but I think it's better for you guys to start top and the support, the 5 support to come up here, get a kill, stun into arrow, into maybe it depends what the position 5 offers. But right now you guys are being very passive, and I think you very well could be like a little bit on their side, scouting a little bit, playing a little aggressive with some of your like Sacred Arrow, this guy, trying to see who's in the lanes because it's not very clear from this matchup who's going to be the 5. Like it might be Visage 5, might be Hoodwing 5, kind of not clear. So you kind of have to come up here and check. Items look fine, by the way. Let's see Slardar's. Yeah, looks okay. Maybe you could swap your instead of getting 2 sets of tangos, you get 1 set of tango, and you get 1 set of tangos, and then like a fairy fire or an iron branch with some of your extra gold, and then bring another set of tangos. The way you guys did this, I don't love. Let's see what happens. Your max stun did get nerfed a little bit, but you should still try to get a decent stun. And so you need a bit more travel distance than this. So you need to stand back a little bit. And it's kind of okay because by the time they can only see your arrow here, at which time Slardar could just stun, and then the arrow connects the final distance. So I think you're a little too close here. Plus you guys heavily overlap this stun. So imagine if that went a little more smoothly, you guys could definitely end up winning that trade. Then Slardar backs off and you keep pursuing, but as you see, when it's a 2v1, you're going to end up losing that trade. So I think you guys back off, specifically a little sooner, or Slardar keeps it up. But yeah, I think if you want, it doesn't fully matter where you stand. Like you could stand a little over here to make it a bit of a weird angle so that maybe they don't expect it, or you could stand like over here, arrow this way. Here does happen so that like when you arrow, it kind of like, so like I would stand here, arrow like right along here so that as they try to pick up the rune, it'll clip them. And if it misses them, it kind of like goes along the back. So you might hit the 5 standing back here, or vice versa, whoever's standing wherever. But yeah, just stand a little further back, let Slardar go in. Slardar will stun, and then the arrow will come in and connect. And you guys will get a winning trade off of that. And then you either have to like keep playing aggressive together or not. Because if they turn 2-on-1, you're kind of like giving them a winning trade when you guys should be in the lead. Okay. Use the rain, use the air to secure the range creep. I think that's okay. Yeah, you know, let's back off. Okay, right now, as soon as Fade Bolt ends, though, go look to be aggressive again. A little bit. I think your attack animation's a little better than Rubik's. Actually, you have really low armor. Lower than I realized.
I'll give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget.
Maybe swap out Circlet. This lane is in an okay spot right now. I don't know if you need to use an arrow to secure that range creep. Look how many creeps you have. If PA stands to contest that, Slardar can basher and hit. Speaking of which, now that Slardar's level 2, if I don't see this happen once, I'll be a little sad. Slardar has 2 bashes into your arrow. Pretty much what happens, Slardar should get to 3 bashes so that the next one is the guaranteed stun, and then you guys should look for an opportunity. You don't have to commit, but just be ready and be on the same page about this. He's going to say, I have 3 bashes, and you're going to say, okay. You're going to try to line up for a shot, and when he sees that you have a clear shot, he will bash them, stun them, and in between those 2 stuns, your arrow should be flying in, and then connect. It might have a little bit of overlap. The timing is hard to perfect. Obviously, we try not to have that. But you're going to do that, and between the 2 of you, you're going to have 1, 2, up to 3.5. So maybe 5.5, maybe a little less. 5 seconds of stun on one target. And that's a lot. If you both auto-attack like 5 times. Oh, and then Slardar in that time should probably get another bash. So probably like 6 seconds, because he's probably going to bash again a little before the end of your arrow stun. But like, is that if it's not a straight out kill, it's a ton of damage. So don't have COVID, I swear. And you just look for that. Every single time he gets the 3 bashes. You don't always have to do it. But yeah, if I don't see that, I'm going to be really sad. Because if you guys frequently play this combo of heroes, then there's like no reason not to always be looking for that. Okay, a pull. I like it. Stacked as well. Yeah, keep an eye on this. Yeah, so you want to zone him a bit. Right now, you're pretty strong. So, Rubik coming up here, I think is no good for you guys because you're level 2. I think you should just bully this guy out right now. Actually, you might do it.
I'll give them a dropping they'll not soon forget.
Little late. Let's go back. So after you do this pull, and then Slardar's up here, you should know Rubik is somewhere over here, right? Because if he's not in the lane, like, what's the guy doing? He's going to be over here. There's no reason. You don't want them to be in the pull. So Slardar is already zoning PA over here. So you want to find Rubik. You kind of want to, like, be near this pull. So you're going to stand in this area. But since you don't know where Rubik is, like, if Rubik was here, you could stand here. But because you, like, don't see him, you should be suspicious that he's over here. So you should come stand over here. And once you see that this guy's level 1 and you're level 2, you just fight. And you don't care. You'll get bonus attack speed from your leap, so you'll win that trade. And then you have Sacred Arrow. You have 2 spells. He has 1. You're full health. He's full health. And in a straight trade, you guys have about similar damage. So because you have 2 spells, you should win this. And you also have a stick. Although you only have 1 charge. 2, I guess, if he uses Fate Bolt. The point is, you should keep him zoned away so that as these things die, he does not get any experience. And if he tries to walk in to get experience, you'll just keep hitting him, maybe back up towards the creeps, and then if he keeps hitting you, the creeps, some of them might start to hit him. And then you're definitely going to win this trade. But by waiting for, like, your play here a little too long, and then now look, he gets level 2, so there's our advantage gone. And he's already next to these creeps. So we mentioned, like, oh, if he wants to walk closer to experience, you're going to hit him in that time and kite along with him. Well, he's already here. And now, because these creeps are dead, they're going to push in. Slardar can't help you, which means it's now a 2-on-1, and they're going to come here. So you need to zone him out a little sooner, and then this pull will go a little better for you.
Not soon forget.
Can you arrow her from this angle? In this case, actually, you can. But let's go back these last 10. Okay. Keep in mind, okay, we're getting close to 3. So could you land an arrow this way? It's going to be really tough, right? So you need to... and then, like, here, also, possible this time, but a little tough, you know? So when the lane is pushed up here, it's a little harder, but you want to, like, anytime Rubik is away from the PA, it represents a chance where, hey, we could play a bit aggressively here. And if that's the case, you want to try to position yourself in a way where it's easier to land arrows. So walk up really quickly so you can arrow this way, and these creeps won't be in the way. Or, you know, if Rubik's all the way here, I think you just walk in and you guys just attack her. You have similar amounts of creeps. They have a few more, but 2 heroes versus 1, you guys will win this trade. Bully her out. Don't let her be here. And then you, like, kind of walk over, but then you get distracted by stopping the pull. I think, I don't know. I don't know if you have to stop the pulls. I think maybe you just zone PA. If he pulls, you shove the lane in. You guys go farm this camp a bit. Yeah, but maybe it's good too. Nice. Good kill. Good kill. All right. Okay. Hold on. Oh, this isn't you. This is Slardar. Oops. Let's go to you. What did you buy? Oh, this is from earlier. Okay, I don't hate this. The thing is, though, if you're buying the components for a Wraithband, you kind of want to finish this kind of soon because it gives you... Okay, so right now you got 3 agility, 5 agility, and then 2 of the other stats. Your stats don't change that much with this Wraithband, but completing it gives you 1.5 armor just out of the blue. And 5 attack speed. And because you're a right-click hero, that really benefits you. So if you're going to start with the components, which I don't have an issue with, like, I think that's fine. But then you want to finish it pretty early because 1.5 armor is quite a lot. at this point. So what'd you end up buying? Looks like you have 2. Let me make sure I don't have these colors wrong. Okay, yeah. So you have 2 observers, 1 sentry. Sure. I guess you did kind of want to stick against PA. But part of me also thinks, like, you skip the stick. It's tough. I mean, technically, you even have the money if you had waited on the courier, but I guess you didn't know you would get a kill, of course. You bought another salve. I don't know. I don't know if you buy this salve. I think you're kind of assuming that's what the magic stick is going to help you with, and you're not going to be taking, like, so much direct damage up front because you're, like, this backline support, sorta, that pokes in. I don't know. This armor and this attack speed will let you out trade the Rubik. Like, look at Rubik. Your damage is very similar, but he has, okay, he's under the tower. He usually has 4 armor. If you bump yours up to 5.5 and a little bit more attack speed, you're just going to be winning these trades more. Yeah, he'll have Fade Bolt to mess you up a little bit, but then after Fade Bolt, you'll have your leap charges. You just out trade this guy. You, like, kite him a bit when he uses Fade Bolt, and then you go back into the fight. So I think you do want to finish Wraithband kind of soon. Okay. This is a mistake I make sometimes. I don't even know if it's a full mistake. The thing is, if you block this camp, and he doesn't directly see you blocking the camp, he may think you have a ward there, and he's going to drop a sentry. So at that point, it turns out he already has a sentry here. Unfortunate. But if you're gonna body block this camp, I don't think you want to put a ward near it, because there's a chance he's gonna think you blocked it with a ward, and then he's gonna sentry anyways. And then it turns out, oh, it looks like he body blocked the camp, but I still got a D ward. So if you want to body block it, I think that's fine. But then consider dropping the ward a little further out than, like, a very common sentry. First of all, one he already has here, but, like, a sentry here. And that's going to cover, like, this area. So then where do you want the ward? Maybe over here, maybe down here, but just somewhere that this sentry will not happen to get as he checks this. Now, if he sees you body blocking, then that's a different matter. He's going to know you body blocked it. But then if that was the case, you're not going to ward in front of him. So in this case, he does see that you were in this area. He may know you body blocked. So in this game, it may work out, but I don't think you knew that he was going to see you. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know if it's a mistake, but yeah. I might also consider using the sentry first, just because having sentries down in this area is not that uncommon. I don't know if I would have expected him to have 2 in this case, but... yeah, just, like, putting the sentry first, seeing if they have an observer or a sentry down. If they have a ward, you're going to know, oh, if I ward now, he'll know I had this, so I'm not going to do it. And you'll deward his observer, you'll put the observer later or in a weird spot. Or you see he has the sentry down, you're going to take out the sentry and know that, all right, I need to be a little careful with how I place the observer, because he's probably going to bring another sentry to check again, and I don't want him, he's going to use it to get rid of my observer, or my sentry, so I want to keep my observer a little further away from where he might check. Okay, we're kind of seeing some of the combos. Fortunately, it's at a time when there's, like, 5 creeps, and Slardar's a little low. But you guys have done the combo a couple times, so good on that front. Ooh. Bless Rubik. What a support player. Takes the arrow for... Ooh, nice try. Respect it. By the way, let's go back and look at it real quick. So you body block the camp. A very good thing for the force support to do. So if you were going to block this camp with a ward, block it, and then go run to the rune. Especially as Mirana, that's something very good you can do, because you either get the rune, you secure the rune for your carry, or for your mid laner, great. Maybe you take it yourself so the enemy doesn't get it. Also, great for your team. Maybe you arrow at the, like, you see, look on the minimap, you see him running to this top rune, so you fire an arrow. If he's not paying attention, he'll get hit. Great. If he dodges it, whatever, you tried. Not a huge commitment from you. Maybe he doesn't make a play for the rune at all. You get the rune, you say, hey, the rune's here, let me see if I can land an arrow. You fire an arrow at mid lane, maybe you hit him, you kill him, now the mid laner gets the rune, or you miss, again, not a huge commitment. So many fours should look to secure the 4-minute rune, or at least attempt to, right? You might still get unlucky. Attempt it, and Mirana, of all 4 positions, she's like quite good at it because she has this arrow. But also like not the like, it's not the end of the world if you don't secure the range creep or the runes. Now this happened very similar time. I know we are kind of looking back at it, but because he did end up, sometimes I like to wait a second before placing the sentry. Because it looks like you were going to check this area anyways. So you should have done that first. But also, after you place a ward and the enemy support happens to see you, wait like a second or two. Because if they do have a sentry in the area, what if you place your sentry, he hits it, lifts you, and hits it again, and you don't get his sentry, right? So when you're attempting like these D wards, be a little careful when the enemy support is nearby, because they could screw you over, get your sentry, or maybe he denies his own observer. You happen to get his observer there, but what if he denies it? You hit it once, he hits it. So you want to wait a little bit, see if he reacts to the observer you placed. He goes to deward it. Now you know, okay, he had a sentry in this area. Let me, like, if I saw him deward this, I'd be moving the sentry a bit more to the right. So happens he has 2 sentries here for whatever reason. But yeah, like if he dewards it, you know he's got a sentry. Okay, I want to get that. So you shift it over a bit. Let's speed up through here a bit. Alright, so you guys end up getting the rune. I think this is okay. Yeah, check if Storm wants it. In fact, you can also ask if Storm wants this rune. This rune was probably secured, so you can even see if he wants it. But not a huge deal. Maybe you guys did ask. Ah, close.
I'll give them a drubbing they'll not
Alright,
soon
if you
forget.
get boots, what can you do? You can move around more. But do you have the mana to do that? Not quite. So, let's see if you... Okay, there we go. You got the clarity. I might also, like, you might even try, instead of getting the boots, why not get the Windlace, the Wraith Band, and then a Clarity, you know? Because you ended up getting a Magic Stick pretty early. Otherwise, this Magic Stick would be the Wraith Band. But you might consider that. Okay, let me see. Why did you TP down here? Looks like stuff was happening, I suppose, and because she TP'd down here. Where were you before you TP'd? You were already in the mid lane. But I guess you saw her running in. It's funny, guys. Usually when I play, I look at the minimap like a ton. But for some reason when I do replays, I guess it's not for some reason. I'm seeing what you guys do on the screen. But I'm a lot worse about looking at the minimap. TP'd as a response to the mid laner coming down here. I guess what I'm thinking is that I don't know that an Anti-Mage, Venomancer, Mirana, like, if it ends up being a 3v3 down here, you 3 versus these 3, LC, Visage, and the mid Hoodwink, I think you just die, you know? I don't think you change this fight. And so that's why I think it's, like, better to... Maybe you guys pressure, like, Storm went to go jungle. So maybe you just pressure mid lane and you farm this a bit. Or maybe you try to continue to pressure top. Because Anti-Mage is kind of expected to have a bit of a rough time in many matchups. And LC is one of them. And I mean, if you were down here already, that's fine. But the fact that you TP down here means it's going to take you a long time to get back top. And top is where, like, you have this sick combo, Slardar Mirana, and now we're going to be away for a long time. It's going to take you, like, a minute to walk back up here, or a minute before this is up again, and then you have to use resources to TP out. So I kind of... I don't know. Because you even saw Hoodwink running down, which means by the time you TP in, there's, like, very little time to do anything. I think the fact that you guys see Hoodwink here means that these two should just run away and hide, and you run down here. You running down is okay, because now you still have your teleport. And then, you know, if they commit a lot of time down here, and then you make it, and then that's fine. But in the meantime, the two of them just play very safely under the tower. I don't think they'll dive that hard at this time. You know? But, like, has you coming down here changed that much? Not quite. I don't think you want to arrow there when you're so low on mana. Like, that wasn't going to lead to a kill, so I would just save the mana. I know you have a clarity to clarity up, but it's not going to get you to full. Okay, get a kill top. That's good. Venomancer teleport top. All right, so now you're leaving, which means who can help Anti-Mage for a while? Like, no one. And if your TP comes up and it's like, oh, Anti-Mage needs help, you're going to TP bottom again. And, like, who's going to help top? I don't think Venomancer should have TP'd. I mean, I missed what he was looking at, but I don't know. Feels a little bad. She dies. Hey, we get mid XP, though, so... Right here, you see the rune spawn? You know she hoodwink killed Storm somewhere in this area, so she's probably around here. I don't know. I think you gotta run for that as soon as you see it. She might still beat you to it, but I think you gotta try. You gotta make sure she doesn't get that rune. She just killed Storm. She used a lot of resources. Let's look at her. So she kills the Storm. Kills the Storm. Spent a lot of resources doing it. Look at her mana. If she does not get a rune, then Storm, even though he died, he comes back. He's full mana. She has no mana. He has a chance to recover the lane a little bit. But if she gets the rune, has full resources, Storm comes back, well, she's obviously in the lead because she's a level up, and they both have full mana, full health. Who does that favor? Not to mention, depending what rune she gets, she's got a... Like, maybe she has double damage. You know, of course she's going to be stronger. So, I think even though this lane is here... Oops. So I think even though this lane is here, I think you've got to quickly go secure the rune. Or maybe even stand over here. Like, you're a ranged hero. You can last it. You don't need to be right next to it. I know it's a little easier, but position yourself towards the rune because Hoodwink killed him top. So you may not want to contest this rune with her, but you know she won't be bottom. So if you stand over here, you can try to get some last hits, and then if you see her like run through, you have leap. You run this way, you leap over, you go to it. But like by the time you see her, and then I think you realize like, oh, oops, you know, now she's got this rune, which means she has like gank potential with Invis, or she fills up her regen, and now she's just gonna beat Storm.
Radiant's courier has been killed. That'll give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget.
Bit of an awkward dive, but kind of working out. Okay. Tranquil boots. I don't know if you need tranquil boots. These are not heroes that like randomly poke you. These are heroes that just like kill you straight up, 100 to nothing. And if you don't die, you've either killed them or you've gotten away. And let's say you get away with like 100 health. It's not like you can stay there, whether you have tranquils or not. You kind of have to leave. I don't know. I think Mirana's a hero that like you could be 100 health and sitting in the back line, and as long as you can fire an arrow, you're contributing, you know? So I kind of feel like well, actually, I'm not going to worry about that much. I think it's like okay, but I do think arcanes are a little more common. Probably not worth it giving her a duel. Got to be a little careful of that. I know you landed the arrow, so it was tempting. But Elsie was running in from the mid lane. So as you're deciding what to buy here, I like the Medallion a lot right now because it combos with Slardar, and then it's going to be protective later against these heroes. So instead of finishing like the full wand, I may have just gone for the Medallion because that's 250 gold for like 3 stats and 10 more charges, which is like okay, but I'm a big fan of like slot efficiency stuff, which as the position 4 you should care a little less about. But still, I like Medallion there. Getting a Yule's. But they don't have, like, PA is a little annoying, but the rest aren't, you know, they're not like a Storm Spirit or Ember. I don't think you need the guaranteed setup from Yule's. Yule's did get nerfed a little bit, the final mana regen, a little worse. It's still an okay Mirana item, but I think there are other items that are more useful, especially because you have a Slardar who will go Blink, probably. So he'll be your initiation. You also have a Storm Spirit who will initiate. He'll buy a Bash or Abyssal later. So, and then this guy like provides a bunch of slows. And the slows are kind of enough to set up your arrow too sometimes. Especially if they're not like the mobile heroes like we mentioned, Storm or Ember and Void Spirit and like a bunch of others, Quap, you know. So I don't think you need the Yules. I like Medallion a lot more. Because right now, so this is actually our roughly transitioning to mid-game. So right now, your plan, ended up farming a little worse than actually, I guess you did leave the lane a bit, so then he ended up not farming as well. So right now, Slardar needs to get to Blink. And if PA is still playing top, I think you guys can still play top. You want to kick her out of here. She should not feel okay to be up here. So when Slardar is up, I think you still play up here with him, so that anyone who pushes up out this far gets killed. Let Slardar just keep farming until he gets his blink, and then you guys can go make plans. But right now, it's hard for... You know, are you going to kill a Hoodwink if Slardar is just running at her? That's not really happening. And you're like, the LC, she's going to run away. She's very fast. PA is going to blink away. So you do need some kind of initiation, and it's going to come from Slardar's blink, not your Yule's. So right now, you guys need to wait for him. So in the meantime, I still think like you know, if someone tries to farm up here, that's still an opportunity to get a kill. You don't quite need the initiation. But like Hoodwink mid to go on her, what are you guys gonna do? Run up river straight at her? She's gonna leave. So in that case, you do need the blink. But Slardar being up here to farm is gonna scare anyone else away, and you being there will like cement that. And in fact, you shouldn't show. If you show in the lane, people know you're here. But if you stay in the shadows and like sentry up this area so that you know they can't see you, then they're not gonna be sure where you are. Like, oh, like maybe they're thinking like, oh, it's Slardar alone up top. Maybe I can show, attempt to farm. He probably won't kill me, right? In one burst. Especially like Elsie, she might be thinking that. But if you're not there, it becomes a lot scarier because Slardar could double stun into arrow, and then any hero is dead. And so if you're not showing, they're like, okay, like it is just Slardar up there, but Mirana could be there. I'm a little scared. But then the same thing applies to mid, you know? Like, okay, like mid lane against Storm Spirit, I probably won't die. But, oh, what if Mirana's there and she lands the arrow? That's, like, then I'm dead. As long as you aren't showing, you are threatening both lanes. Even if you are, like, even if you're sitting, like, in this very top lane, like, over here, you're only threatening this lane up here. And you're not even in position in the middle. As long as they can't see you, they're scared. But if you show in a lane, then they know, oh, I can 1v1 this Slardar a bit. It's not ideal, but I can do it. But being scared of both lanes, that's kind of better for your team. But you do want to be like, you know, threatening one of them, threatening top with Slardar, but you just don't want to show. So let's see what you end up doing. Waiting for Slardar to respawn, see what he does. Looks like he's going to run top. Okay, so you got to farm this. Keep in mind, Slardar does want to farm the blink. So if you start blasting out this wave, it's not going to be the best for Slardar. And, you know, your item timing, you're not near anything. Even if you're going Medallion, Medallion isn't a game changer. You know, the Blink Dagger is. So you want to let as much farm up here go to Slardar, your friend. Like, the next step in your game plan is the Blink Dagger. So last hit, like, be here for the XP, of course. Last hit, deny. But don't commit spells that destroy the whole wave like you did. You just killed 4 creeps. Like, look at Slardar. Slardar is about 700 off of Blink. You came up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was like 250 gold. That was like a third of Slardar's Blink. Like, if you sit here and just last it, and Slardar runs up here. I don't even see him on the minimap. Where is he? Oh, he ended up going mid. But if Slardar just came up here, the 1v1, who wins between PA and Slardar? It's kind of close because they're kind of even. But I would say it favors Slardar because of Corrosive Haze and the fact that he has stuns. And PA has to get like a bunch of lucky crits for it to work out in her favor. She's a little weaker, so I think it's better for Slardar than it is for her. So you don't even need to show. She's not scared of you though, so she'll fight you one-on-one, but she won't fight Slardar one-on-one as directly. Especially if you're not showing, because she'll be scared of the double stun arrow. So this is a pretty big mistake in my opinion. I think you actually, let's also see what Slardar, because I saw Slardar running up here. How did he end up mid? You were keeping an eye on mid. This is a bug. So you're running top. Oh, and then he got dueled. Okay, well, honestly, that's probably good for Slardar to do, to respond to that. But I think then you immediately want to go back top on Slardar. Because look at this. Just focus on the minimap here, guys, so you don't get dizzy of me like moving the map around. This whole area, Slardar could 1v1 like anyone, right? Like if the lane is here and Slardar's farming, we just said PA probably doesn't want to 1v1 Slardar. Does she want to 1v1 him here? Like, not really either, right? It's still a 1v1 with Slardar, and there's no tower here. What about over here? It's a little better because their tower's nearby, but still, it's a 1v1 with Slardar out here. It kind of sucks. This whole area is this place that Slardar threatens on his own. Anyone else comes up here, it doesn't work the same. And until he has his Blink, he's just not as much of a threat anywhere else as he is up here. So I think Slardar really needs to farm out the Blink here, and then he can go to other lanes. Because Slardar, he doesn't take towers. He kills people. And he can't really dive the tower unless he's, like, killing people. But it's much harder in this lane without, in this game anyways, without the Blink. You need to be able to kill people, and then that threatens the tower. So in the meantime, if all you can do right now is kill people who approach you directly, the best chance of that is in this top lane. And you showing is like removing that threat a bit. As long as you're not, like, okay, you come to last hit, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But blasting out the wave is no good. Because, like, you blast out the wave and shove it up here. I just said this whole area is a place for Slardar to threaten. But if you're, like, if Slardar's here, he still has this whole lane to go. And he'll get to farm, like, 3 or 4 more waves and finish the Blink Dagger in that time. But if it's up here, because you just blasted the wave out, now he only gets to farm, like, 1 or 2 waves and still be a threat. And then what's he do? He's not a threat at this tower. And he, in fact, doesn't want to be up this far, because this is a bit risky for Slardar, because there's a lot of teleports and it's near the enemy jungle. So, like, Slardar wants to be over here and slowly farm up his way here. And even though it's riskier here, he finishes the Blink and then he backs off. But that doesn't work when you shove it out so hard. Mirana, there's like a couple supports where you have to be like, and now you're like auto-attacking freely. It's gonna like shove the lane even faster. There's a couple supports that are baits, that they can be good supports, but they also like can farm far too much. And Mirana is one of those heroes. Nature's Prophet's one of those heroes. And yeah, you just have to be careful. It takes a lot of discipline to realize, like, I can farm, but I should not. I need to be responsible with the way I do it. You know, some heroes avoid this completely by just having no farming mechanic. Bane, you know, he can't even shove out the lane if he wants to. But you have to be very careful with heroes like Mirana, and not accidentally steal farm. Okay, Slardar ended up here anyways. Okay.
The ultimate sacrifice.
Alright, now you're TPing mid. Let's go back and look at this. Let's look at the mini-map. If you TP mid right now, your teleport's very important. It allows you to rotate everywhere. And combining the idea that if they see me, they're not so scared. You know, right now you're not showing. They last saw you top, so they know, okay, I've got to be very scared of this area. But the longer you don't show, the more likely it becomes that maybe Mirana went somewhere else. You know, PA saw you here, 10 seconds. It's like, okay, Mirana's probably up here. Maybe you TP'd away immediately. They don't know. But at least on their side, they have no reason to think that you aren't still in this general area for a little bit. And if you do show up somewhere else, it means you teleported, which is like, you get the kill and surprise maybe, but at least you had to use a teleport. But now if you wait like 30 seconds not showing, then they're going to be like, well, she could have teleported, she could have not, she could be anywhere right now. I don't really know where to be safe. When you teleport mid, right here, like this, one, they see you again. So now they know, okay, she showed here. But because they just saw you here recently, I don't know if they know this at Legend, but it should be like, okay, Mirana could not have gotten here, like physically could not have gotten here in this time, because she just killed our wards right here, and now she's here. She has to have teleported, which means down here, which you saw multiple heroes bottom, which means they might be making a play here, which means you might be needed down here. Now they know Mirana can't be here for 30 seconds. Now look at this, Anti-Mage is TPing here as well. So now they know 2 heroes are mid, and bottom is definitely free. Bottom is going to be tough to hold. It is kind of Venomancer's job to just attack here. But I think what would have been cool for you to do, you have like 2 choices. You either just like farm up here, like farm their jungle, maybe check here to mess with the PA and like steal some of her creeps. You see her farming, you try to arrow her, she has to like dodge it. You don't want to take a direct 1v1 because she'll win it. But you're like still pretty mobile. You like poke your head in, you see her. As long as she knows you see her, she has to be a little scared because there's a Slardar and a Storm Spirit that could jump her into an arrow. So even if you don't take a direct on fight, she has to get nervous and start to like skip between farm camps a little more. So just showing her here that you're here messes with PA's farming time. And that's kind of what you want to do right now. You want to mess with their carry while your carry is farming. They're pushing this lane very heavily. You have a Venomancer. He's very good at holding lanes, but he has to do it. So he's a little far up. This is their mistake. But if Venomancer was here, dropping a bunch of wards, and you were like sitting back here, and they try to dive Venomancer, you can like arrow in and just like gauge how it feels. You know, you have 2 heroes here. They dive a Venomancer. A bunch of wards are out. He like slows all of them, ults, lands an arrow, and you might be able to say, okay, quick, Slardar. Okay, Slardar doesn't have a TP. It's close though. Like, okay, quick, Slardar TP and Storm TP, and we can take this fight. Because they committed under the tower against a Venomancer who holds very well, and then they got hit by a Mirana arrow or something. But when you TP mid like this, you remove that. So if you were going to TP anywhere, I think it should have come bottom and like be ready to defend. Tell the Venomancer like, okay, stay under the tower, drop wards. You TP back here, walk up, so that way if a fight does break out, the carries can TP in here. Not to mention like you need to arrow from back here anyway, so it kind of favors you to TP here and walk in. And that way they still won't know where you are, which means like, oh, we saw Mirana up here 10 seconds ago killing our ward. Now you're down here. They don't know that yet, but they should know it's a possibility. And the longer you disappear, they have to say like, well, she's not showing anywhere else. Can we dive this tower? A Mirana arrow could just hit us out of nowhere. Not showing is like a very scary thing sometimes. Nice arrow timing, by the way. Damn. Funny enough, they didn't take his tower out. What were they doing? What the heck? I guess they're defending mid. Maybe this was the right play. I don't think you want to do it, though. I think, like, Anti-Mage does not want to participate in the fight, you know? I think Anti-Mage wants to TP here and push mid, and I don't think you needed to do anything. I think you needed to come bot. Let Anti-Mage do this mid pressure, and you would have pushed a little slower. I know you used Starstorm to push the wave a little faster, but, like, Anti-Mage would do the same job, just slightly slower, and you guys would help threaten this. And in this case, they, like, just didn't get the tower. I don't know. They should have. They had, like, so many heroes here. Only one hero is needed to defend against Anti-Mage. And frankly, even 2 heroes is needed to defend against Anti-Mage Mirana, so long as an arrow doesn't hit. You got... I mean, it was, like, a good timing, but also a little lucky that you were able to see her teleport and land that arrow. Like, if that didn't happen, do you two think you could have killed Hoodwink, usually? Probably not, right? Because she arrows, or she uses her, like, Q stun, kills the whole wave, like, immediately. That's what core Hoodwink does. And then, like, if she sees the arrow coming, she scurries and dodges it. And then, like, what's Anti-Mage going to do? He's going to blink on her? No. The only reason you guys were able to almost kill her is because that arrow connected off of her teleport. If she had, like, teleported here or just not been seen at all, she would have defended this solo versus the 2 of you. But then you would have, you know, in theory, lost this tower if the rest of them had all then pressured this tower. Kind of didn't happen, but I don't know. I still want to say what I think should have gone on, I guess.
I'll give them a drubbing they'll not soon forget.
Why does Slardar leave?
To their bottom tower.
Slardar has his blink. Why aren't you together? You guys are friends, right? Right? But really, it's the blink reveal. You want to be there for the kill. And land the arrow. They got the kill on LC anyways, but I still think your job is with them. PA probably won't kill an AM on her own, right? AM should be up here. Are the 2 of you gonna kill anyone? No. Don't bother AM. Don't drag people up to AM. Okay, now you guys are together. A little late. I think the fight could have gone a little smoother if you'd been with him before. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't think you want to be here. You know that they're playing this bottom area. You don't want to just, like, walk in here on your own. You need to, like, be skirting the edges until you see more of them, especially because you didn't have vision in this area. You keep leaving. Okay. There's some areas where a lot of fighting is going on, and some where a lot of farming is going on. You are support Mirana. That means you need to be where the action is going. Right now you're, like, leaving to go where the farm is, and that should be Storm and Anti-Mage's job. You need to come down here. You, Slardar, and Veno, you are fighters. See, this is farm area. Look at this. Farming. You're, actually, you're poorer than I thought. But you are farming a lot. Slardar, like, he can't farm. He needs to get kills. He can't get kills on his own. He needs people with him. Venomancer doesn't bring a lot of upfront damage, which means these kind of heroes are likely to get away. Like, he needs you to provide the rest of the burst. Or he needs, like, Storm Spirit. But Storm Spirit, we said, like, he wants to, like, do some farming, some fighting. You need to be a fighting hero right now. Like, what are you doing with this Anti-Mage? You guys aren't killing anyone. Look at that. Look how long this kill. Like, you got it. Now I look silly because I said you weren't killing anyone. I think she messed up. She shouldn't have, like, I don't know. She ran around a bunch. I think she just, like, ran this way under the tower. But look how long that kill took. It's just, like, it's not how it... Oh, God. I don't know. I hate saying, like, it's not how it should supposed to be, because how it is, like, what it is. But, like, what are, like, if you had to, like, assign a chance, right? You and AM killing someone, it's, like, a very low chance. It happens to work out this game, but, like, you attempt that 10 other times, like, 8 or 9 of them, you're not getting a kill. You attempt to kill with Slardar, like, 8 times out of 10, you're getting a kill, and 2 times out of 10, you're not. So then it's like, oh, well, where should I be? Should I be with, like, the 1 out of 10 or, like, the 8 out of 10? You go with the 8 out of 10. Even in this case, it, like, looked like it worked out. I don't think it's like low risk, low reward in a way. And playing with Slardar is a lot more consistent. Like, how will AM ever set up your kill? You want to play in this top half of the map? That's fine. Bring Slardar. But while this tower was up and you can defend it with Venomancer, then you two need to be bottom. Now that it's down, your map is, like, the game is shifting a little bit more. But until that happened, up to about, where was it? A little bit before this. Let's go to free cam. Okay, look. This tower's still full health. You need, like, Venomancer's almost up. Venomancer needs to be down here. Venomancer needs to keep defending this tower. You need to keep defending this tower. Like, if you catapult, if you arrow this catapult, this tower doesn't die right here. Oh, why isn't anyone defending this tower? You know? This tower died because this catapult was allowed to hit it for like 20, 30 seconds. And your arrow would have solved that. Veno wards, I know he died early, but like then he should have TP'd down here and put this up. And then Slardar sits here with his blink dagger. He's a little low, but he just waits. And then he blink, stuns someone, and then maybe you arrow them. But like this is where the fighting is. Like every game it's going to be different on the map. But in this game, farming happens. Can I draw on the map? Cool. Farming happens up here. Fighting was happening right here. Because of this tower being here and it being their next objective, right? They have the mid tower, so it's like, what are our options? It's bottom tower or top tower? Bottom tower is a lot better. I said that in a lot of the videos. So that means you need to defend bottom. And let the farming heroes play on the farming half. And the fighting area needs to be the fighting heroes. But you're in the fight. You're in the like farming area. Okay, let's skip forward again. All right, so now let's reshape the game plan. So we lost the safe lane tower. We need to move on. It's a little late. She already has her Battle Fury, but she's still in farm mode right now. So like she's a low health hero. The item she buys does not give her health. Which means you and Slardar are a decent amount of burst. And Storm is at the point, especially now that he's got his Orchid, he's at the part where he can be part farm, part fighting. That means AM, who is got his Battle Fury, almost at his Manta, but we said, okay, still needs Basher, still needs MKB. He is still full farm hero. So as the heroes move around, it's going to shift a lot. So like before we were able to say this top half is farm, this bottom half is fighting. Now that multiple towers are down, it's going to depend like where the heroes move. But wherever the farming part of the map is, that's where AM needs to go. And wherever the fighting is where you guys go. Now I just said it depends where the heroes on the map are. That is going to determine that. Anti-Mage, his role is going to be to push waves. And then when heroes show up, he's going to dodge it. And he has a very easy time doing that because he has Blink and Manta. And he can easily move around. PA has a much harder time moving around because of Phantom Strike requiring a target to blink to. Now, Blur does make it a little hard to find her, but at the same time, you physically look around the map and you see if creeps are dying and no one's there. And you go, oh, PA is there. Because the fighting and farming part of the map is shifted by the heroes, that means team movements now decide what is where. Which means you guys are fighting. Veno is a fighting hero. Okay, Veno's a unique chance because he has to like be a little more stationary and set up. But he can still participate with his ult and his Q, and then you like stick to an area for a little bit. Storm, very mobile. You guys have great jump. You determine where the fighting zone is. So now let me tell you. Where do you want to set up the fighting zone? It doesn't really matter on the map. It's where the hero is. So of these heroes, where do you want to establish the fighting zone And based on your heroes, where do you want to establish the farming zone? Wherever Anti-Mage is, you want him to be in the farming zone. Wherever Phantom Assassin is, you want her to be in the fighting zone. Because if a carry who still needs to farm, which is what a Battle Fury carry does, they still need to farm, they don't want to be in the fighting zone. LC, she's a fighter. She wants to be in the fighting zone. So you don't want her in your farming zone. You want to drag her to the fighting zone. But at the same time, it also means like we don't want to bring the fighting zone to her because she wants that. So instead of her having to like find where Anti-Mage is or like find where fights are, if it's brought to her, she's like, oh, cool. Okay, we don't want to go to her. Hoodwink, to be honest, still trying to figure this hero out. Don't fully know what she needs to do, but I do think she's a mix of a fighting farming hero. You bring the fight to her, I don't think she cares that much. But PA, right now, going back to that idea of that 1v1 match, that we need to help Anti-Mage beat the PA. One way to do that was like the Medallion, the items that help PA, the AM. Another way to do that is to simply ruin her game so that this guy is multiple levels and multiple items ahead. In which case, he'll win the 1v1 when he's 25 and she's like level 18, right? So that's another way to think about it. And with your heroes, you can still itemize towards it. But if we're thinking about where do we create fights, let's go ruin the PA's game. Wherever you see her, I just want you guys to run at her. You smoke up, you Mirana ult, you do a mix of both. You, Slardar, Storm, you go and you screw up her game. Now, if the enemy team all rotates to help, you don't continue the fight because that's only like 3 versus 5. You don't need to stick there. And you guys are quite mobile. You get out. Slardar's really fast. Storm has zip. You have leaps. You just dodge. And guess what? That's okay. Why is that okay? You now have 5 heroes in one part of the map. You've now established a farming area for AM, but no one has any control at this bracket, okay? You put 5 heroes in this triangle, right? PA was farming here. You guys tried to kill her. Everyone rotated. You didn't get the kill. You get out. They have no discipline. Hoodwink is farming this camp. LC is farming something. Okay, PA was supposed to farm this whole area on her own, but you brought everyone here, and those animals have no control, and they farm her stuff. And that's good for you because you've slowed down the PA. Even if they don't farm it, she's now splitting the XP with the other heroes as they try to walk away. Which is still good for you because that's going to mean your AM is higher level than she is. So, wherever this PA is, you guys smoke to. You kill her, you let Storm farm it because he's still this fighting farming hero. This is like your thank you. Like, thank you for helping us get a kill on PA. You now get to farm their part of the map. You and Slardar, you can be a little poorer this game. Slardar just needs to create blinks and stuns, really. And these guys will do kind of the rest. He still wants to get some farm, so, you know, if you have a choice between the two of you, give him some farm. He needs, like, some items as well. But after you, like, successfully invade, you let Storm farm because that's what he wants to do. And then, like, oh, we got a kill right here. Our lane was pushed up a bit. Now Venos sets up right here. This forces heroes to defend. Hey, we're creating another fighting zone here. And then, again, we can just back off. They kill Veno, who cares? He's not mobile, whatever. He's the position 5. The rest of you get out, and it's fine for you. We sacrifice to position 5. We force people to rotate. AM free farming this whole time. PA respawns, we run at her. So right now, where's PA? Let's look at this minimap. Where's PA? You're telling them to play in this top part of the map, which is, like, kind of good, but also PA will then just farm down here. So it's like, I don't care about this specifically. I care about ruining PA's farm. If she is in this top of the map, then sure, let's run here. If she's down here, though, then we're running there. Okay, PA, right here. I see her. Where are my fighting heroes? Storm? Take a look at TPs. The Storm came bottom. This is a... I wasn't watching before this. Maybe not a mistake, but it is a problem because we kind of need Storm to kill the PA. But everyone else, who's the fighting hero? Veno, Slardar need to make their way top. AM needs to make his way bottom because if PA is up here and we are establishing the fighting zone here, that means farming is going to be down here. So AM needs to head his way bottom. And we need Storm to be over here because this could still be a farming / fighting area, right? Because it transitions. If all the fights happen here, all the farm happens here, it's a bit of a mix in between just by positioning of the map. And if Storm wants to do a mix of both, then he needs to be here. And Anti-Mage needs to be down here where only farming is going to happen. It's like this gradient. And then that way, while Storm farms, then it's like, hey, you want to make your way up here with that rune you just got? And he's like, oh, sure, yeah, free kills. Then he makes his way top, and you get this PA kill. So let's watch right now. Let's see how long it takes for you guys to mess with PA. Because we saw her top. I know she is farming top. The longer we do not go to her, the worse. Now let's look at our mini-map right now. We're all down here. And you know what I just said? I said if we drag all the heroes to PA, they have no discipline. You are dragging all your heroes to Anti-Mage right now. All right, 3 of the fighters. That's kind of cool. Okay, Storm and Anti-Mage sort of switching. This is taking a very long time to do, right? Where's Storm even going? I don't know. He's got no mana. He's just walking a base. Okay. But you know what? We'll take the opportunities we can get. This guy will be able to TP soon. Looks like a fight's breaking out before I could finish my thought. But originally I was going to say, okay, Storm, go refill his mana. Then the 4 of us smoke and go find PA. But a fight has now started to break out ahead of time. And PA, for whatever reason, decided to TP down here. I don't know. But again, we're just going to go with what the game gives us. This fight was kind of working out. Stuck too long. Anti-Mage came to a fight. The farming hero came to a fight. We don't want that. I don't know if one of you called him over. I don't know if it's just something he chose to do. But let me tell you, it's not what we want. I don't want him here. He's level 17. I don't care. He doesn't have the MKB. He doesn't have the bash here. I don't want him here. Storm, he's got BKB, Orchid. This is a fighting hero. He should be here. Now, you guys were a little late on this, which is why this is like sort of not working out a bit. Okay, kind of working out a bit. Still don't think it should have gone that way. Okay. Fight over. Let's reset. Let's play in the next minute. Where'd you last see PA? She TP'd bottom lane. Where should Anti-Mage go? Or where should the 2 of you go? Anti-Mage needs to go top. She TP'd down here. I know she did. Because she was up here, and then suddenly she showed at this tower. Without even seeing if she teleported or not, I know that based on that movement, she like probably TP'd, or I guess she could have walked the whole time, but am I wrong? Let's look. Let's see, where was she? Oh my god, she walked. I look like an idiot, guys. I guess she wanted Ancients. I look like a fool. Alright, I still think that was a mistake by her part. I think she should have kept farming the top. I stand by that statement, okay? Fine, whatever. She has her teleport. Doesn't matter. You're gonna make her go use it. Okay? So this worked out, blah, blah, blah. Where do we go? We know PA was bottom. So Anti-Mage is in the right spot. But look who is taking some of his farm in the farming part. It's a fighting hero and another mix of a fighting farming hero. Now Storm doing it is like kind of okay because he's the mix. It's not okay for you to do this. Let's see how much gold you actually got there. Let's think about this. Okay, blah, 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 fight. Where's your net worth? You're at about 49. About 400 gold you just took from Anti-Mage. What's Anti-Mage building? It'd be 400 gold closer to his MKB. What do you do with 400 gold? You finish the Yules? Hey, look at that. Your 400 gold didn't even go to anything. Your items are not so important as his items are. You're like approaching his power spike right now. And at that point, all you need to do is like land arrows and like medallion someone. Very cheap items. The arrow being free in your skill set, the medallion being like 1100 gold, a little less. It's like 1000 gold. Actually, with the Blightstone change, yeah, it's 1025. So, you don't need this gold. This is what I'm getting to. You don't need this gold. Where's PA? She's still just running around farming. Look, you're where Anti-Mage is supposed to be. And PA, she now has Desolator. She's now starting to be ready to fight. She comes online before the AM. Once she has Deso, she can fight. But she does still want the BKB. Ideally, we would have slowed her down. Well, first we would have slowed her down before she got the Battle Fury. But after she got the Battle Fury, you still know she's going to farm a lot until the Deso. So we could have slowed the Deso down. We've now missed that timing as well, which is making it You know, the more items she gets, the harder it gets to slow her down because she might just kill you when you go to slow her down. That's why it's really important to do it earlier. Until she has BKB, though, neither of these provide stats. You'll see she's still a very weak hero. If you chain stun her and burst her, you can still get the kills. It's just riskier. So, where do we need to be? With our 300 plus 75, so like 500 nuke. Sorry, 300 damage, and then with the second strike, guys. I realized what I said didn't make much sense. But with the extra 75 damage on one hero, which could be the PA, it's roughly 500 damage. Sacred Arrow, also like, let's say 400 damage if you hit her. So that alone is like half her health. Of course, with some magic resistance, it'll less. Slardar, you know, bash, hits, he provides some damage. He Crows of Haze, so your right clicks do more. Storm, you know, this is like, let's reduce it a lot. Let's say 200 damage. You know, the zip, however much, depends how far he went. The overload, 100 damage. Electric Vortex doesn't do damage, but that's more lockdown. Orchid, amplifying any damage he takes. You got all this, like, poison damage. You know, she can still die. It's just scarier. She can die. We gotta go to her. See, you're like splitting XP with Anti-Mage right now. So now you're farming up here now. Now you're not nearly as elusive as an Anti-Mage. I have no idea where PA is now. Now they're doing Roshan because they killed you. Uh-oh. Game snowballing a little bit out of control because they managed to get Roshan. You decided to go Vlad's. I don't hate Vlad's. It does have 3 armor, but that armor is less than a Medallion. So for a much cheaper price, you get a Medallion, which gives more armor. And then these guys are single target. So if you had to prioritize like a weak AoE armor, like both are good against right-click physical heroes, but a weak AoE armor versus a strong single target armor, I know it's only 2 armor higher, but still, you know, the single target is worth more because she can only kill 1 hero at a time. So you throw it on whoever she's fighting, and it's cheaper. You'll get it a lot sooner. Then you buy the buckler, which is like 2 armor versus the Vlad's 3 armor. Like, that's good. In fact, you could even keep it at a buckler, and that'd be okay. The Vlads, these 3 heroes kind of benefit from it, to be honest. But against PA, who is like a very high damage physical hero, the lifesteal is not going to come into as much play. Like, verse, who's an extended fighter? Troll, Ursa to an extent. They take a lot longer to kill people. A lot more right clicks, which is why the lifesteal like comes into play. Who's going to like bash? Later on, when they have like high armor, high health, it may be a bit of an extended fight between PA and AM. But in the meantime, it's very much a like 2-second decided fight. And in that 2 seconds, if your hero is auto attacking the whole time, they steal like 100 health. That's not really going to change anything against a PA. But heroes where it takes a lot longer, extended fights, that's where the Vlad's is a little better. Probably should have said that in the Vlad's video. I think I sorta implied it, but it wasn't like explicit. Also, Vlad didn't have the armor at the time of that video. I think I mentioned it used to, but it's now back. Overall, I don't hate the Vlad's choice. I just think Medallion's a little better. So right now, the enemy is kind of deciding fights. And they can kind of move as a group because PA is a hero who farms and fights more than Anti-Mage is. She farms until she has the Desolator, and now she's like Storm, where she's like farming and fighting. Anti-Mage is still like a full farming hero. Now he has the MKB, but now he needs like the Basher. Although with the MKB, he actually can start to fight a bit more. You'll see he's also quite weak. These kind of heroes tend to be. But now she's stronger because she has the BKB. So getting a lot.
Dropping down,
We've
not soon forget.
we've kind of missed the timing to screw PA over. Like, what if he was at where he is? Manta, Fury, MKB. He's a little poorer than he should be, to be honest. And part of that is what we talked about. You were kind of like in the area, not slowing down PA and kind of like taking some of his farm. But what if she didn't have this BKB yet? She's so much weaker. And what if she didn't... Okay, it'd be crazy. She'd be really behind if she didn't have the Deso. But like, what if she didn't have Aegis? What if she didn't have BKB? What if she could just finish the Deso, right? If it's Deso Fury versus Manta MKB, this guy's gonna win. And what if he gets Basher just as like he should finish Basher before she finishes this BKB. She doesn't have BKB. She's like almost at BKB. This guy's got this item plus Basher. Who's gonna win? Of course it's gonna be Anti-Mage, you know? But now that she's got BKB, he's still off from Basher. It's a much harder game than it needed to be. We could probably honestly stop around here because that's kind of the main issue I've already seen. Like, the enemy is doing what we wanted you guys to do. They are hunting. They are creating the fighting zone and looking for kills. And you guys are now, like, behind. You guys started out strong, but, like, we didn't use it properly. Looks like there's still about 15 minutes left. Why does it take them so long? They're in your base with Aegis, aren't they? See, they mess it up. Alright, lost one Rax. Guy have Basher. You guys can try to fight once he has Basher. You probably don't want to deal with the Aegis, but... Nice arrow. Okay. Keep going. Need more kills. Oh, interesting. It misses him. I didn't know that. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? You're the fighting hero. I don't even care about this tier 2 at this point, right? You guys need to turn this into like a Rax. You all need to go down mid or bottom right now. If any hero were to come here, I think it should be like Storm, who needs to like refill his mana. Like, this guy without mana doesn't contribute anything to a fight, right? And he has no mana right now. So if anyone's going to defend, it should be Storm to refill his mana, push mid, and then you guys like connect mid. He can't fight right now. You can fight right now. Look at all your resources. Look at your stun. Like, you can fight. He cannot. Who defends? Storm defends. Who else can't fight? Hey, look, everyone can fight. Everyone else should be here. Storm. Storm defends. Let's watch this. This is so sad. All right. 2 heroes just held off 5 heroes. You know why? Because it was 4 heroes, except that one was not a real hero. Storm with no mana is not a real hero. So it was 3 heroes, the Anti-Mage, the Slardar, and the Veno. Anti-Mage dove in under tower, 1-on-2. At that point, he forces everyone to come in. But it was too far. Slardar kind of messed up that blink. Not that it would have mattered because she had BKB. Storm zips in. Also has BKB, can't do that much. Like, if anyone initiates, it should have been Storm or Slardar, not Anti-Mage. So that's not your fault. It's the Anti-Mage's fault for going in too fast. But what that translates to is that this should have been... Like, Anti-Mage takes towers pretty quickly at this point. And with 5 heroes hitting this, or like 4 heroes hitting this, and 1 person defending, which I think should have been Storm. I don't think... Right? So if Anti-Mage is here, you have a Slardar back here, and Mirana ready to arrow, does PA jump the AM at the front lines? No. But if AM uses his escape to engage her behind the tower, where the like Mirana arrow will take longer to get to, where the Slardar won't be able to blink to, will PA take that fight? Yes. So, what it really should have just been is that Anti-Mage takes his tower and everyone sits behind him. And then Anti-Mage takes his Rax. And Anti-Mage takes this Rax. And then, by that point, Storm, let's see, you're up here. Storm probably could have pushed about as fast as you. Maybe a little slower because he probably had to heal up his mana. But he could have like TP'd back, called in like Clarities and Mangoes, and then pushed up. So the lane would be about here. You guys take Rax, you come over here, you take this building, and then you leave. Because at that point, these guys are all up. But we just like screwed our ability to get anything by doing what we did. Oh god, Storm's dead too. Yeah, okay. Oh, he is dead. Is he? Why didn't you just TP out while you were invis? Oh lord. Alright, he's out. So we lost top racks in a way that probably shouldn't have. You know, getting picked off. Well, I won't say you shouldn't have, right? Because you already made those mistakes. It's very easy to make those mistakes. I'm not gonna like, I'm not telling you it's like, oh, that was so obvious, you shouldn't have done that. It is hard to know where you're supposed to be on the map. So like we could have avoided that. It is gonna take a bit of work, like identifying where you should be. They get this Rax. And then you guys take a really good series of fights. You should have been able to equalize this game by taking this set of Rax, and we haven't. We messed it up, and in fact, we just kind of like cemented their lead by giving them a set of Rax, and then giving them kills over here. Specifically to the PA. So if you're wondering why the game is so hard now, it's because of that. Also, you saw how Anti-Mage like tried to jump her and got like destroyed, right? It's because she's very close in farm, and she wins the 1v1. It's just how the Heroes functions. She doesn't need mana, and Anti-Mage, a lot of his damage comes from burning mana and resisting magic. And she is straight physical damage. She, like, literally does not care about one of his abilities. Literally doesn't, like, barely cares about the other ability. She, like, takes a bit extra damage, but if she BKB, she, like, completely ignores this ability. And even if she loses all her mana, she doesn't really care. So 2 of his abilities kind of suck. And because these 2 suck, it means this one sucks. And if he uses Blink to engage her, this one's also gone. This guy literally provides nothing with his abilities against a PA. He then just crits him, dodges stuff unless he has MKB. This item requires an MKB to deal with. And then as long as she gets to use Phantom Strike once, which only costs 50 mana, right? She doesn't really care if she doesn't get to use it again. And if she really needed to, she could have a stick to like stick and then Blink Strike again. Whereas Anti-Mage, like, I guess he requires a BKB to deal with this, but a BKB is useful anyways against many of these other heroes. So it's like, it's fine. But you wouldn't get an MKB for anyone else besides like this PA. So that's why it's really important to either get Anti-Mage ahead or to build items to help him out, because the hero will lose the 1v1 matchup. That's why like Medallion, like I don't mind the Vlads to help out, but I just don't think it's as good as like the Medallion. All right. Still have a shot to win, but we got to fight at the high ground. Don't even walk up here. It's not even worth it. Stay back here. Yeah. Anti-Mage, unless he buys a Lincolns, he has no counterplay to LC. That's why you need to just like Medallion him all the time preemptively. Because LC's one and only job is to jump Anti-Mage. Maybe jump Storm, depending on the situation. The situation being that Anti-Mage is not there to be jumped. Otherwise, like all she cares about is getting this Anti-Mage killed, because PA literally doesn't care about anyone else. She only is concerned about dying to stuns and then a Anti-Mage killing her. As long as she can 1v1 the Anti-Mage because everyone else is dead, or if Anti-Mage is out of the picture, then she's totally fine. She wins the game on her own. She wins the game on her own. Now, you can remove everyone else. I'm kidding. You can't remove everyone else, but like, kinda? Like, let's watch her. Let's watch her. Okay. There was the 1v2 kill Slardar, another 1v2 kill the Storm. She get to dive, tier 4s, get 2 kills, and almost get a third, right? She almost killed whoever that was. It was Veno. Oh, she did kill Veno. Okay, so she killed 3 people on her own. She or at least led to 3 kills. We'll watch it one more time. Let's turn this back on. So she kills the Slardar, dives too far, but kills Storm. He finishes up the Veno kill, and she does die. It took a buyback, 4 heroes, and 2 towers, and all these Veno wars that were probably hitting her too, right? Her only concern was the Anti-Mage. But she's equal to the Anti-Mage. She's not even that scared of him. She's only scared of him, like, if he's with other heroes. And she is not. But when she has all her heroes, like, at this point, a 5-on-5 is kind of good for them. Because PA is so strong that if you guys go on her, LC purges her and sets everything up for everyone else. Yeah. Looks like this game's going to end here soon. In fact, it's over. Let's just stop. It looks like you guys can keep playing a bit, but it's like so hard. If you guys were to win from here, you have to reverse what is happening, which is that LC is finding pickoffs with her team behind her, and then they are turning that into objectives. Sounds super straightforward because it's what a lot of people want to do, but it's not what you guys were doing. You guys were not finding kills to turn into objectives. We've missed the timing window for Anti-Mage to be ahead of PA at this point. At this point, the best he can do is catch up, and being equal with PA is losing for Anti-Mage. So it's like there's no timing window where Anti-Mage is stronger than PA anymore because she's now slotted pretty much. She has one more item to get and maybe replace boots and then like all the shards and stuff. But like at this point, she's pretty much unsurpassable by Anti-Mage, which means the only way to deal with her is to not deal with her one-on-one or like 1-on-2 or 1-on-3. You probably need like 4 heroes to deal with her and kill her by herself, which means you need to find a kill on like a Rubik who is warding by himself. Then while they're playing a little safe, you like catch up a little bit on some of the other heroes. Because like Storm still has items. He could get like a Scythe. Or it looks like he's getting Lincolns. I guess that's okay. Probably need a Scythe. Slardar ended up very poor this game. So he has a lot of scaling he could still do. You have a lot of scaling you could do. So you guys would just need pickoffs to like slowly catch up your whole team to the PA. And you would need like these tiny pickoffs on like a Rubik, an LC who is like by herself for whatever reason, even though she's played most of the game with other heroes, which was very good. Having to catch a Hoodwink who has like Invis Scurry, like that's going to be tough, but possible. It's going to be very hard to ever kill the Phantom Assassin unless she is alone. So I think this game is just very secure for the enemy team at this point. Let's speed through just to see it happen, but pretty much if they get one more kill, I think the game is over. That's why it's so hard. If they convert one more kill, they can just push down the Megas and end. Because they're just much stronger in a 5-on-5 because the PA has hit her timing. All right, we're done now. Let's watch that fight a little slower though, just to show what I mean about how like the 5-on-5 won't work anymore. Because all right, so you used arrow. It's unfortunately down. So Storm's trying to kill the Rubik on his own, but turns out it wasn't on his own. You guys do end up killing Rubik. You focus a lot of time on the LC, but Visage gets some chain stuns. Storm dies here. A PA has now joined the fight. Where's her crits? All right, we get one there. Let's watch PA's perspective. Massive crits. It wasn't that good of an Anti-Mage game anyways to begin with. Why me? Because you're the one far out. I don't know. Yeah, this wasn't even a good anti-mage game in the late game because there's no like intelligence heroes, and because it's all like so physical damage. That is anti-mage's weakness. That doesn't mean anti-mage can't win games. He just needs to be ahead. And although the lane started out okay, you guys like PA got to farm and anti-mage didn't, and so we see what we saw. So summary time for everyone else who didn't want to watch an hour and 25-minute video. The lane, let's actually take a look at the graphs. So, let's look at these lanes. Mid, relatively even. Slardar, did end up above PA, so I would say you guys won your lane a little bit. I think it could probably be done even more so because, I mean, Slardar is just supposed to be strong against melee matchups. She does have dagger, but I think you ended up leaving the lane a little too soon. I think you guys could have punished it a little more. But at the end of the day, this is still technically a win. And if we look at Anti-Mage, he also did a little better than he should have against the LC, I think. I think he should have had a harder time. I don't know how Visage 4 lanes. It's been a long time since I saw. So maybe he just did better than, like, a different 4 may have led to a harder lane for him. Point is, you guys started off in a winnable position. But then we talked about this idea of farming and fighting zones. That AM wants to be in the farming zone. Storm wants to be in a mix of farming and fighting, but then the three of you, Venno, Mirana, and Slardar, at least once. Okay, Slardar, he needs to farm a bit to get his blink. After that, he just wants to be in the fighting zone as well. Originally, when the towers are still up, the towers dictate where the farming and fighting zones are. Towers that need to be defended are obviously fighting zones. Towers that need to be taken are fighting zones. Places that towers have fallen become farming zones. Once a lot of towers fall, the fighting and farming zones are dictated. This should probably be its own video. Fighting and farming zones are dictated by where the heroes move. And that is when it comes down to, like, you need to have proactive play. Like, seeing a tower being attacked, you can react to it and go defend it, which isn't ideal, but it's like, it's easier to play around. When towers start to fall and it becomes less clear, that is where you have to proactively say, I determine where you can farm or fight. And that's hard. That's really hard to do. It's something I'm struggling with right now, and I feel it because I've been ending up in like really high ranked games lately. If you've watched the stream, subtle flex, I've been playing with really high ranked players lately, and I feel so lost. These guys play so fast, and I'm feeling the same thing you guys are. Like, it's all the same. It's just like, it's different levels of it, right? Where I'm like, I don't know, I thought this is what you used to do, but you guys are playing too fast for me to figure out. So it's very hard to do. But what I hope we pointed out here was like, okay, Anti-Mage needs to farm. PA needs to farm. What? That doesn't benefit me. Let's go ruin PA's farm. If I can decide where the fighting zone is, I don't want to determine it based on the map. I want to do it based on where PA wants to be. If PA wants to be at the tier 1 safe lane tower, then that will become my fighting zone. If she wants to go farm her jungle's ancients, that is my new fighting zone. I want to go fight there so that she cannot farm efficiently. I'm just going to follow her around because Anti-Mage is more mobile. This benefits us. If Anti-Mage also has to deal with constantly switching farming and fighting zones, it's fine. He just blinks around and TPs. She has a much harder time dealing that. So just chase the Phantom Assassin around. Once he has blink, Slardar. Once Slardar has blink, once you have nothing, it doesn't matter. You just need arrow. Arrow in a couple levels, but really just arrow. And then Storm ideally wants like Orchid, but he can participate in some fights earlier. So anytime you see PA, you guys smoke up. You try to kill her. If you don't kill her, it's okay. Just chase her away. She runs top. Now you guys shift top. You just follow her around. And hopefully kill her. And then kind of reset a bit. And be ready to chase her again. See where she teleports? Head over there. Venomancer and Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage will always farm, so he can defend towers or just farm. Venomancer could be part of the fights. He could also defend lane solo. So if they decide, okay, instead of chasing around and defending PA, let's take towers while they're all chasing her, Venno can deal with it. It'll change depending on the game, who needs to do what. But yeah, for you two, based on the heroes you showed me that you guys play, like the offlaner, your friend plays Mars and Slardar, you're frequently going to be fitting this role. Mars and Slardar want to fight a lot. And so when you guys have to choose where you want to fight, choose the enemy carry. Just go fight the enemy carry. And if you, I can't remember all your heroes, but at least Mirana, she also wants to fight. Phoenix, you mentioned, Phoenix does a bit of both. He wants to farm and fight. So, you know, you got your ult, go fight. Go fight with your buddy. When it's down, you could be the hero to go defend. Kind of like we just said, Venomancer could be a defender. Phoenix is a hero that could go defend a lane while other heroes go to fight. Oh, Earth Spirit's the other hero you mentioned. Earth Spirit, also a fighting hero. Does he really want to defend? It doesn't fit his toolkit. Earth Spirit plus Slardar, great fighting combo. So you two want to be together. In this game, I saw you playing way too greedily. You were constantly farming like where Anti-Mage wants to be, and that's why it didn't work out. Because you took his farm and you weren't stopping PA's farm. So yeah, you got to identify what your job is, whether it's going to be fighting or farming, and then go to the part of the map that lets you do that. Go to the heroes that let you do that. You can't fight on your own. You're just to support Mirana. You need the Slardar. You need the Storm Spirit. You need the Veno. You got to be with them. Do you need the Anti-Mage? Not really. He's a farmer. He's not a killer. Other carries, sure, but not Anti-Mage. So yeah, bit of a long summary, kind of a rant there, I guess. Probably should be its own video. I'll jot that down. We'll write it out later. But yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to hit me up with questions, of course. And have a good day. See you guys.